Disclaimer: this content is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. It was just another ordinary evening, or at least that's how it started. The gentle sound of water hitting the tiles echoed through the bathroom as steam curled along the mirror. I had just stepped into the shower, trying to wash away the long day, when I heard the soft creak of the door. At first, I thought maybe it was just the wind. But then I saw it, the faint shadow of someone entering. Before I could call out, I heard his voice. Calm, familiar, and a little amused. "Did you forget something?" he asked, his tone light, but there was something else beneath it, something deeper. I peeked out, startled, my body wrapped in water and warmth, and there he was. My husband. Fully clothed. Standing just outside the glass, eyes locked on mine. He didn't come in right away. Instead, he stood there, watching me like he was trying to read something behind my expression. "I just wanted to talk," he added, stepping in without removing a single item of clothing. It wasn't like him. We had always had a playful, teasing kind of love. But lately, something had shifted. We still laughed, still touched, but there were quiet gaps, moments when his eyes held questions he didn't ask. And now, standing in the shower with his shirt slowly soaking against his skin, he finally seemed ready to break that silence. He wasn't angry. Not upset. Just thoughtful. "You know," he said, brushing wet strands of hair from my cheek, "I've been thinking about us a lot lately. About how we've changed. About how close we still are, and yet sometimes feel far." The water kept running. The room was warm. But his words made me feel suddenly exposed in a different way. The stolen kisses in the kitchen. The midnight laughs under a blanket. The comfort of knowing someone chose you every single day. He looked at me, his shirt clinging to his chest, eyes soft but searching. "Do you still feel it too?" he asked quietly. I didn't know what to say right away. Because yes, I felt it. The love. The friendship. The ache of wanting to go deeper, to reconnect like before. But something told me this moment wasn't just about us sharing a shower. It was about him needing something more. A reassurance. A moment of truth. But before I could answer, he leaned in, his lips close to mine, but not touching. "Just tell me you're still in this with me," he whispered. And that's when the bathroom light flickered. "Let's pause here, because what happens next will change everything." The light flickered again, just once more, before settling back to its soft golden glow. I didn't move. Neither did he. The air between us felt heavy, not with tension, but with meaning. His shirt clung to him now, soaked and chilled, yet he didn't seem to care. He was focused, still waiting for my answer, still standing there like he had all the time in the world. I could hear the water cascading around us, a quiet rhythm against the silence building between our breaths. We hadn't always been like this, standing in the middle of unanswered questions. A year ago, we were the couple people called inseparable. Long drives for no reason, late-night ice cream runs, surprise notes left on pillows. We didn't just love each other, we were best friends. But life had a way of sneaking in. Work hours stretched longer. Conversations grew shorter. And somewhere in all of that, something small but important had started slipping away. He had been noticing it too. I saw it in the way he lingered at the doorway before leaving for work. Or how he reached for my hand more often, like trying to hold on to something he couldn't name. And now, here we were, he'd joined me in the shower, not to make a bold gesture, but because he didn't want the moment to pass without trying. He touched my shoulder gently, the water sliding over both of us, our clothes sticking to our skin. "I remember when we used to talk about everything," he said quietly. "Even the silly stuff. What changed?" I swallowed hard. Because the truth was, nothing dramatic had changed. No fight, no betrayal, no deep wound. Just life, slowly pulling threads loose until the fabric started to feel different. But the feelings, they were still there. I opened my mouth to speak, but before I could say a single word, we both heard a sound. A faint knock. From the hallway. The knock was soft, almost hesitant, but it pulled us both out of the fragile space we had created in the warmth of the shower. He turned his head slightly toward the door, brows furrowing, but didn't let go of my hand. I could feel his pulse, steady, but alert. It wasn't the kind of knock that screamed emergency. It was the kind that came with questions. Or secrets. I didn't say anything. I was still trying to figure out what had just passed between us. What was about to come next? He gently stepped back, water dripping from his sleeves as he moved toward the door. I stayed where I was, watching, heart knocking in rhythm with the one on the other side. When he opened it, just a crack, I heard a familiar voice. His sister, Rhea. She was supposed to be in another city for work, but there she was, on the other side of our bathroom door, sounding cautious. "Sorry to bother you both," she said quietly, "but there's something I need to talk to you about. It's important. And, kind of personal." He looked over his shoulder at me. Our eyes met. We hadn't even had a moment to process our own silence, our own fears, and now this. Rhea had always been close to him. She was one of the first people to cheer us on when we got married. But lately, she had been keeping her distance, calling less often. And now she was showing up, unannounced, right in the middle of this fragile moment. He stepped out, leaving the door half open, steam escaping into the hallway. I could hear their voices murmuring. Not loud. But serious. And then I heard something that made my breath catch, my name. She had said my name, followed by something I couldn't make out. I turned off the water slowly, wrapped myself in a towel, and cracked the door just a little more. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but it didn't feel like something I could walk away from either. Their conversation was layered, hints of worry, urgency, and something else, something hidden. Then I heard Rhea say, "She deserves to know the truth, doesn't she?" The words sank in deep. My stomach tightened. I hadn't expected to be at the center of someone else's secret. And from the way my husband stayed quiet after her question, I knew this wasn't about some work issue or family matter. It was personal. And it was going to change something between us. He finally looked back at me, standing halfway in and halfway out, like he didn't know whether to shield me or invite me in. And in that look, I saw something close to guilt. But also love. Still present. Still heavy. Still unexplained. The hallway was quiet, except for the low hum of their voices. I couldn't hear every word, but the pauses between them were loud enough. I stayed behind the door, towel still clutched to my chest, heart racing in rhythm with every second that passed. I didn't want to eavesdrop. I wanted honesty, open, face to face. But the way Rhea said, "She deserves to know the truth," kept ringing in my ears like a bell that wouldn't stop. He hadn't denied it. That silence told me more than any words could. Then, like he felt my thoughts pressing on the air, he turned and slowly pushed the bathroom door open wider. His eyes met mine, and I saw it again, that same quiet guilt wrapped in love. Rhea stood behind him, hands wringing, her expression softer than I expected. Not angry. Not accusing. Just tired. And sad. "I didn't mean to come like this," she said gently. But I couldn't hold it in anymore. "It's been eating at both of you, and you didn't even know it." He stepped aside as if giving her space to speak. But he never left my side. Rhea glanced at him, then back at me. "There's something that happened. A long time ago. Before you both got married. Something he never told you." The steam in the bathroom was starting to fade, but the pressure in my chest was rising. I took a step forward, gripping the towel a little tighter. What is it? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Ria hesitated, her mouth opening, then closing. Her eyes watered slightly. It wasn't my place to say before. But it is now. My husband reached out for my hand, but I didn't take it. Not yet. He looked like he was bracing himself for something heavy. Something that could either break what we had or test it like never before. The silence stretched again. Just as Ria opened her mouth to finally speak, a loud buzz echoed through the house, his phone, vibrating on the sink counter. The screen lit up with a name I didn't recognize. One glance. That's all it took. My heart dropped. The name on the screen glowed like a warning in the dim light, Amara. Just 6 letters. But they landed like a punch. I had never heard that name before. And the way my husband's jaw tightened when he saw it told me everything I needed to know. It wasn't someone random. It wasn't just a work call. This name meant something. And in this moment, it meant too much. I didn't say anything. My eyes did the talking. He turned off the phone without answering, slipping it into his pocket like that would erase what we just saw. Ria looked away, clearly torn between protecting him and protecting me. But the damage was already done. It wasn't just about a past secret anymore. It was about the present creeping into the room without permission. He finally spoke, his voice low. It's not what you think. But I should have told you, everything. A long time ago. That phrase, not what you think, rang so hollow it hurt. Because right now, my mind was spinning in every direction. Who was Amara? Why was she calling at that exact moment? And what did it have to do with this secret Ria was trying to confess? Ria stepped forward, her voice trembling. She was a part of his life before you. It wasn't supposed to matter anymore. But something happened recently. Something that made it real again. I looked at him. You've been talking to her? The question came out colder than I expected. Not because I didn't love him, but because trust doesn't shatter loudly, it cracks in silence. He shook his head. Not like that. She reached out 2 weeks ago. Out of nowhere. She said there's something she needs to tell me, something about that time. And I didn't know how to bring it to you. I was scared. Not because of what we have, but because I didn't want to risk losing it. And now? I asked, softer this time. Do you even know what it is she wants to say? He paused. And that pause was everything. No, he admitted. She wouldn't tell me. She said she had to say it in person. That it would change everything. That's when Ria added the final weight to the storm. Amara's coming to town. Tonight. The air in the room felt colder suddenly, like all the steam had been sucked away by the truth. Or the lack of it. My heart pounded with a strange mix of fear and curiosity. Was this woman a threat? A reminder? A ghost from the past trying to rewrite our present? And through all of it, I was still wrapped in a towel, wet hair dripping down my back, emotions tangled like the strands clinging to my skin. This wasn't just about a name on a phone. This was about everything we built, and what might come crashing down before the night was over. The knock on the front door came just as the silence between us had grown unbearable. We all froze. No one needed to say her name, Amara. My husband gave me one last glance before walking out of the bathroom. Ria followed him quietly, leaving me standing there, heart racing, towel clinging to my skin like a reminder that everything about this night had been unexpected. I dressed quickly, almost mechanically, but my mind was anything but calm. I moved through the hallway and stopped just short of the living room. I heard her voice first, soft, composed, but too confident for a woman showing up unannounced. I don't want to cause trouble, she said. I had to tell you in person. Before it's too late. Too late? For what? I stepped into the room, and all eyes turned to me. Amara was striking, beautiful in a calm, effortless way, but there was something else. Something tired behind her eyes. She didn't look like someone here to ruin a marriage. She looked like someone carrying a burden. I know this is the worst way to do this, Amara began, her gaze meeting mine, not flinching. But you need to know the truth. It's not about me and him. It's about a child. Mine. My breath hitched. I had a child 6 years ago, she continued, her voice shaking now. I never told him because I wasn't sure. But recently, I got confirmation. The DNA test came back. He's the father. The room spun for a moment. My husband didn't deny it. He looked stunned, gutted, but not surprised. And that told me he had always feared this truth, deep down. Rhea gasped behind him, and I just stood there, trying to hold on to something solid in my mind. She's not here for money, my husband said quickly, turning to me. She just wanted me to know. I didn't know, I swear. Amara nodded. I don't want to ruin your lives. I just thought, your family deserved to know. And then came the final twist. Amara reached into her bag and handed me a letter. This was meant for you, she said. From my daughter. She's been watching videos of you. She thinks you're kind. I opened the envelope with trembling hands. Inside was a drawing, stick figures of me, my husband, and a little girl with a huge smile. She had drawn us as a family. The room was quiet again, but this silence felt different. Not cold or accusing, just full. Full of emotions that had been waiting to surface for too long. I held the drawing in my hands, feeling a strange warmth build in my chest. It was messy, childlike, but honest. The way she drew me with a bright dress and a smile, that wasn't just imagination. That was hope. My husband sat beside me, still stunned, but not hiding anymore. His hand reached for mine slowly, gently. I didn't pull away this time. I looked at him, and in that moment, I saw him not as someone who kept a secret, but as someone who was scared of what the truth might cost. But he stayed. He didn't run from the hard part. I want to meet her, I said finally. My voice was steady now. If she's part of your life, she should be part of mine too. His eyes filled with tears, not out of sadness, but something like relief. Amara, too, looked surprised, but grateful. I didn't expect that, she said softly. I thought maybe you'd hate me. I don't, I replied. There's already enough hurt in this world. Why should a child carry the weight of our past? We talked for hours that night. Not just about the little girl, but about everything, what had gone unsaid, the way we drifted, and how this moment, as painful as it was, had pulled us back into each other's truth. Rhea stayed the whole time, occasionally adding a quiet word, holding space for all of us. She had been the unexpected thread, the one who broke the silence and made honesty possible again. By morning, things weren't perfect. But they were honest. And that felt like the first real step forward. The next weekend, I met the little girl. She ran into the room with a shy smile and hid behind Amara. But when I sat down beside her and showed her I had framed her drawing, her face lit up. And for the first time in a long while, so did mine. Life doesn't follow a perfect script. Sometimes love is tested in the places we least expect. But what matters is choosing to stay, to forgive, and to build something new, even from broken pieces. If you followed the story this far, tell me in the comments, how did this ending make you feel? Would you want to see a sequel to this couple's journey? Your thoughts mean everything. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more romantic, emotional storytelling like this.